Okay, we in this bitch.
Welcome to this bitch.
We're here in her. Oh, wait a minute. Oh God. Anywho, welcome, well-read baddies, to another episode of She Well Read. I'm Alana.
I'm Samra.
And we're on our usual bullshit.
Per usual.
Okay, Phoebe. I was like, you sound like Phoebe.
See, really?
You've been influenced.
I've been influenced. Yes, I have.
I'm so weak. Shout out. I like.
I was like, get into the chapter. Because that's when you're looking at me like, chapter.
Well, I'm glad you're ready.
I'm ready to go now. I'll tell you what.
I'm keeping all this in. Woo, all right. Shout out corner. Follow us everywhere at She Well Read. Hit us up on YouTube. We got a new subscriber today, and she even left a comment on our video. Shout out to her.
Wait, what's her name?
I know. I don't have my phone.
Was it Eunice?
Maybe.
I want to start.
It started with an E. It definitely started with an E.
We got you next episode, girlie.
Shout out to you.
You're the best.
You
made
are.
Our day.
It really. You see how excited we got? Like everybody. This is our Christmas present from y'all to us. It's to go leave comments and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
And leave us some ratings.
Reviews.
Because our last review on Apple Podcasts, well, we have several star reviews, which I feel like that's the easiest one. So I feel it totally. But if you just have a second.
Yeah, write a written review.
Yeah. The last one was from 2020 or 2021.
I think it was 2021.
So I was just like, oh, it's been a minute.
It has been. We've gotten, like you said, we've gotten more 5-star ratings since then.
Yeah,
but
so
no,
shout out
written.
to y'all.
Yeah. But write us a little written review, if you got some
it can just
extra
be
time.
like, they cute, period. That's it. It don't have to be long.
It don't have to be long at all. So do that. What else I got? Oh, supporting us through our affiliates and partner discounts.
Yeah.
Y'all know we are an indie show here, meaning everything comes out of our own pockets.
Yes.
Or if we get affiliate money or partnership money. But speaking of affiliates, Liberal FM, shout out. Let me give it up.
So cute. Just love the
can you still
colors.
see me? Oh, see the back?
I listen to books. Ooh, wait, that's so cute.
Isn't it fire?
Love that.
I'm going to give you yours. It's at the mailbox.
Catch me next episode.
I'm so weak. But thank you, Liberal FM, for sending us some shirts, some merch. You can can't talk. We have affiliates with Liberal FM and Cure. We have
Bookshop.
We do?
I know.
Well, if you buy books through our bookshop, yes, we get a percentage of that. Technically, that is an affiliate. That's tea. And we're not supporting Amazon, so we love to see it. And we have partnerships. We get discounts, 15% off with Be Rooted and Basic. So, the holidays are coming up. It's time to start thinking of those Christmas presents. Let's get on it.
I've got a few on my...
Same.
Some for me, some for...
Other people.
Right. But, yeah, they got a cute little selection.
They really do. And I have to,
and
contain
Be
myself.
Rooted just dropped their Christmas collection, which had a lot of new stuff.
I'm gonna be broke.
Yeah, there's some good stuff in there. There was I'm trying to think of it. There was just stuff that I was like, oh shit, it's things you were like, oh, I want one of those, but you never really look and you never really find it.
Yeah.
But
you found it.
Yeah.
Love to see it. So yes, please support. That is another, more financial way to help us out over here. We would really appreciate it. Everything's linked in the show notes in all of our bios, every fucking where. So yes.
True.
All right, on to the copy break. Which I put this at the top.
I'm glad you did.
Because not us having a theme this week, low key, which is mental health. So trigger warning, we're going to be talking a lot about mental health this episode.
It's about that time of the year.
It is. And I was thinking that on the toilet before I came over here. I was like, it's literally that time of the year. We're going to, it's sad season.
It's sad. It's sad to hear it. But you know what? Speaking of sadness, tell me why the other day I realized I've been low-key depressed too.
No!
Yes!
I was literally going to say, I was like, like, damn, I've been seeing the signs of like creeping into it for me too, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, but what's going on?
I be forgetting I'm high functioning, so I'm like, oh, I'm still like checking shit off my to-do list. Like, I'm good. But then I think about like how I'm not getting out of bed, how I'm not feeding myself, how I'm not like, just don't have that oomph that like you need to get through the day and like get everything done.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's a mixture of just being overwhelmed with my to-do list and like, I don't know. The past, I just went through like this traumatic experience, and I don't know. I felt like I was processing it during the experience, but I think that the aftermath of like getting my life together has been a lot. And, you know, I just need to take some more time for real to like give myself that love and affection.
Yeah, because bitch, you fucking went through it. Like,
yeah.
I'm with you, because afterwards, like, you were still like on it.
We were like in season.
Yeah,
or about to be or something.
We were in season, and
so
like
there was no time.
Yeah, this literally reminds me of the Poor Minds episode, literally where she was talking about like when her mom passed away, and like you just keep and like when Drea's dad passed away, you just. But you have to take that time. Like, it's really, when you go, it doesn't have to be death, but like any type of traumatic experience, take that time to reconvene with your inner self and be like,
yes.
And is everything good?
There's not time, like in the moment, like after the moment, don't forget about it.
Yeah.
Because it's sometimes, like, it will still linger, I think.
Yeah. No, it will. And,
so, yeah. Anyway, I just had that moment, and I was like, oh, like a lot of what I've been dealing with, like, makes more sense now. So, yeah, it'd be sneaky, that mental health stuff. And it really, like, that's so much about what our chapter is about.
The stuff that we're going to be talking about during the coffee break. So we're going to get into it. So this is your warning.
Trigger warning.
Trigger warning. First one, off rip. Oh, actually, this one's not a trigger warning, but it's so upsetting still. I saw the other day on Phoebe's freaking story.
No, it's triggering.
It's triggering.
This is triggering to me.
Phoebe, newsflash. Phoebe and British Bake Off in real time are no longer together.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. You hate to see
our
it.
favorite overseas couple.
Know.
Whatever you would call that.
Right. Couple. Yeah.
International couple.
International couple. You hate to see it. But Phoebe seems fine.
Yeah.
So.
As long as you're good.
Right. As long as you're happy.
Everyone's good. You know what I mean? But our hearts are going out to you, Phoebe, because we just learned this. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So. Hearts go out to you, Phoebes. Okay, now the real trigger warning stuff. R.I.P. Takeoff. I'm still, like, in shock.
In shock, right. I was about to say, like, damn.
Yeah, because at the time of us recording this, like, this all happened on Monday. So, like, 2 days ago.
Yeah, and we woke up to that.
Literally a tweet where it was like, see, this is why I don't need to look at my phone first thing. Because, like, this... Ooh. And when I saw, I was like, you've got to be... Another one?
It's too much.
It's too much.
It's very, 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 very disheartening and so upsetting. And it's just like, Black men do not need to die ever. And especially not, like, I don't know what was going on, but it's never worth someone's life ever, period.
Yeah. And, you know, and also how desensitized we've become to all of this because of, like, the pictures of his dead body and videos circulating around the internet. It's like, one, what made you think that this was a great decision, first of all, to whip out your phone and record and, like, take pictures of all of this traumatic shit happening?
Yeah, that's a period, though, because it's like, I don't know, like, what else you would be doing, but, like...
Even if it was, like, for evidence, you could argue for evidence sake, like, if they were, like, cool with them or whatever, but then to post it on the internet, that's disgusting. That's fucking disgusting.
Especially if they sold it to TMZ, which, is that what happened?
I don't know how that happened, but fuck TMZ for that. Because if you were trying to get
a profit off of this, like...
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's their whole shtick, but for the person who sent it in,
because these are still real people at the end of the day. Like, I saw I didn't see the press conference, but I saw the notes of the press conference that the police chief did, and he was like, I just got off the phone with Takeoff's mom like an hour ago, and, like, y'all have to remember, these are still humans at the end of the day who have people who love them and are going to be grieving for them. And, like, I can't even imagine. And he was so fucking young. That's the other thing. He was only 28. So shout out to, I believe her name is Mia, Dolph's spouse.
Yeah, she was on Poor Minds.
Yeah, and like her whole line about, black men deserve to grow old. Like,
it was a word.
It was a word. And even on the Poor Minds episode, when she was like, she wanted Dolph to be a part of that. And he was like, the way that if I'm going to be a part of it, it has to be something big. Like, I go out and like do everything big. And then like he was going to share his ideas about what he wanted to do with it, like right before he died. And it's almost like that was the thing that like shook the table for that brand to be like not recognized, but like even more looked at, and people being like, oh, like we need to support this, like da 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 da. And so it's just really, it's mind fucking, but it's also just so sad that has to be what it is.
Yeah.
For people to be like, oh shit, like this is a real problem, especially in the rap community.
Yeah.
Because that's primarily where we're seeing it. All these rappers getting killed for stupid shit.
I mean, who knows what the background, the context of it all. Like maybe there was some resentment from like 6 years ago. Who knows? But
it's still like that split second emotional decision, because I don't know if you've seen this, but I did see this video that came out where it's like right before the gunshots went off, and you can see Quavo was arguing with some dude, and they were talking about like a basketball game or whatever, and Quavo literally said, he was like, you know what, dude, like this isn't even worth it, like let's go. Like to everybody else who was with him, he was like, he was trying to walk away from the situation, and the dude swung at him.
What?
And that, like a few seconds later after that, that's when you heard the gunshots going off.
Oh god.
So something stupid
so quickly.
It's like you got your feelings hurt, so now you're gonna fight him, and now y'all are gonna
just because you have a gun doesn't mean like there is a time and place.
Yeah,
for things.
There is a time and place for things.
That's just not the time. Even just like how people are racing. Randall just talked about that. Like,
yeah, in Birmingham.
I don't know the exact word that he used, but like how people have been like exhibition driving, I think is what he called it. I didn't know that's what it's called. I just was like, they be racing in the fucking 5 points or whatever, and it is so dangerous.
No, it is.
They're just blocking the whole intersection. People are trying to drive, like,
people are trying to cross the street.
People are drunk. Like, it's an area where like there are pedestrians,
right? And it's so dangerous.
It scares me every time I see it, and so it's just like there is a place where you can do that, and it's called a racetrack or a field, like, or a big ass parking lot. It's not supposed to be like. There's just like I said,
there's a time and a place.
Exactly. It's simple. Like, it's stuff you learn as a kid, and it's just like, let's remember these things,
right? But I think it's also just like the culture and environment we're growing up in right now has, like, I hate to use this fucking word, but normalized some of this shit.
It has.
Like, we've become very, like, it's like, oh, another rapper got shot and killed over some stupid shit. Well, let's see who's next. But it's like, why is that the mentality that we're being forced to live in right now? And just, I mean, there's like so many other things you could like say about this too. Like, there's other topics that are like, it's almost like, what do you do?
Yeah, like you were saying, kind of it's systematic.
Yes, it's very systematic.
From birth to like the time of, whenever the shit went down, like there's been little nuggets and and moments where there could have been interventions, but that's just not how the system's set up.
Right.
So
it is just so unfortunate, and
it is.
Thoughts and prayers. Oh God. Like, I fucking hate to say that, but it's like, it's real still. Like,
and then also that stuff is real.
Yeah. To like also, his like, family, his friends.
Maybe finding like, maybe we can look into just ways to support. You know what I mean?
But it's, and I hate to make it sound, but it's almost like these are rappers like who like have money to hire security for shit like this. It's like, what are we? But I see what you're saying. Like, we could do stuff like
I guess
on from our
family, or just like maybe in the community of Houston, if there's something for.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about right. Okay, so you're talking about right now. I'm talking like long term issue of in general.
Oh,
but what you're saying, absolutely,
harder.
Yeah,
but I can't wrap that one in a bow.
But we are gonna get to it in this essay. Some ideas that I saw. So we'll circle back. Okay. Next one is this one was Let's go. I've done some research. I'm ready. Let's get into it.
All right. Coffee break. It's getting really deep on this coffee break, but it's just been a crazy week and crazy month, and I don't know what.
It's always this time of the year, though, where shit starts to pop off.
You're right.
Literally.
Oh,
Okay.
So I just wanted to say, because I know the Kanye rhetoric is very negative right now, and there is reason for it, and I totally get why everyone's upset with him, but I wanted to come on here and say, even though I know we're not trying to give this man more energy, we need to have grace for him, because he is a black man too, and like we love to say protect black men, and like situations like this happen and black men die, and then we don't even cherish the ones that are here. And like I said, for a society that values mental illness therapy, like we so push that stuff nowadays, and yet those same people are speaking negatively on someone who is in the middle of a manic episode, to be quite honest. I'm not a psychiatrist, but I grew up with a mom with bipolar disorder, very hands-on experience for 18 years. And like everything that I see interview-wise from Kanye, it's like he's not okay. Yeah. And I don't think it's cool for people to be piling on him at a time where he obviously needs an intervention, a help. And I'm just like, where are the people that love him around him, that are rooting for him, that are like giving him a hug, that are like being there for him without judgment? Because right now I feel like even his own family, aka like Kim, who is his ex, and I know there's been so much trauma throughout that relationship, but I feel like when that's the person you chose to have a family with, you can't just leave them and like, I mean, you can, but I really wish that I was hearing some more from Kim. Like, she has done that in the past of like, guys, he's not okay right now. Like, please stop talking negatively about him and da-da-da-da-da. And like, I don't know. I just think it's really sad the way we treat black men while they are on this earth. It's sad that they get killed, but like they're getting killed because of the way we like ignore them when they're literally crying out for help. And there's so many red flags, and all we want to do is just cancel and cancel and cancel, and that's not productive.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with what you're saying and where you're coming from. I think in the instance of Kanye, the flip side of what I also think about is like, yes, Kim chose to have a family with this man and to support this. And she, like you said, she was. But I think also there's kids involved. Like, she can't pour everything into him. She still has to worry about these kids, too, and, like, what they're going through and what he's low-key putting them through with what he's doing and how he's acting. And so it's like, that's someone true. You can't expect someone like, that's almost like that ride or die syndrome where it's like, where's enough, and when this person can choose themselves and their kids and be like, I still want to support you and get you help, but I can no longer like be like your love partner right now.
And I don't feel like she has to be a love partner.
But also, and I get like, he's been having these manic episodes, and like you said, we're not psychiatrists, so like, who know the manic versus the real shit, where like maybe he does believe some of this shit that he's spewing out.
Could be. I just know that like when my mom was manic, there's so many things that she said that like you can't take seriously.
Yeah, and I was reading an article about, because I was wondering, I was like, do we know for sure that he's like clinically diagnosed? And then I looked and I was like, okay, yes, it's been he clinically came out and was like, has bipolar disorder.
That man has
mental illness. Because but there's times where we're like, people do batshit shit and we're like, you're fucking mental, but like we have no idea.
That's what I'm saying is like, I get calling someone a bad person when they're just straight up a bad person, but when someone is diagnosed with psychiatric issues, their brain is not in the same place that we're at when we're looking at him and we're like, you're crazy.
Yeah. And I read some like there was like a bunch of psychiatrists and like whatever wrote like articles like on Kanye and like what's happening right now, and they were like, there's a difference between showing this man empathy because he looks like going through a manic episode in psychotic break, and like saying that his behavior is okay. Like those two don't go hand in hand necessarily.
Yeah.
And like
for sure.
And they were also saying, which I didn't know, that like when you're in a manic episode, like you could have these deep rooted thoughts that like you not in an episode, it's like not as boisterous and loud about. But then when you're in a manic, it's like times 1,000. So that's where it's like low key, he really might believe some of this shit he's saying, which like makes it wrong. And I feel like especially because you said it like a few episodes ago where it's like these celebrities like who have mental health and like whatever, they have more access than we do to resources and services that could actually get them help and get them better.
But the thing about this disorder in specifically is that part of the disorder is you not accepting you have the disorder.
Right, and not accepting help. But then at what point is it like everyone around you who love you who is tried everything they can, but like you're choosing not to get help? So, because at the end of the day, it's still your choice. So like, what are we we can't make you do anything.
That's true.
And it's like,
that's true.
I'm actually on team, even though I have controversial, because, you know, he's been dropped for all this anti-Semitic language that he's been spewing out, which is wrong, and like I think is a good thing, and I advocate for, because until you can feel something of like this is not okay and we're gonna show you just how much this is not okay, and you start to feel that hurt, you're like that may be the wake-up call he needs to be like, oh shit, like maybe I need to need to get some help, or which he did, like, even though it was like a backhanded.
What did he say?
It was bad.
He apologized.
He attempted.
But didn't he say he said others?
Right. And so then at that point, it's like, but I do have this, like, he was saying a bunch of negative, and there's so many TikToks on this now, but he was saying all of this negative shit about Black culture and like all this stuff, and nobody wanted to like cancel them. But the minute he does like anti-Semitic shit, that's when they're like, oh nope, can't do it. Now everybody wants to drop him. So like that's a whole separate thing.
It's not directly affecting them when it's about Black people,
right? No,
and also a lot of Black just racism has been normalized,
right,
to an extent, like.
Where
so
they're
like, yeah, you know, I don't know, it could be the amalgamation of all of it together. That's what I'm telling myself, so I don't have to go down that road, because that's a dark road to go down.
Right. It's like, it's still wrong either way at the end of the day.
But I swear to God, there have been so many times that doctors have said, if your mom goes down the deep end one more time after this, we have to forever put her in an insane asylum. There have been so many times, and every time we have prayed for her, we have like been there for her, we have nursed her back to health, and she has always come back on the other side. And I'm so grateful, because every time they said that, like, my heart would break as a kid. I'm like, yeah, that's my mom. Like, I don't care how beyond help she is. She's going to be okay. And thank God my grandma had that same energy, because she was the only one, like, really on that side too. Right. My dad personally, in my opinion, doesn't have like the most positive outlook on mental health, because he didn't have to grow up with it. So he, you know, I think if it was up to him, like, it could have easily gone a different way. And it's just like, you cannot give up on people when they have mental illness. Like, I know we do. It's been normalized, and that's why there's so many homeless people, and like, they're beyond help, right? But it's like, no one's beyond help. And the minute we start like desensitizing ourselves to this stuff, and we're just like, well, you can only fuck up so many times, it's like very giving our like justice system, it's giving so many things. And like, I just feel like Black men need grace more than anything. I think so too. I agree with you, but then I'm gonna have to agree to disagree on some point, because there has to be a line somewhere. Like, and again, we don't know Kanye, we don't know his situation. Like,
your mom, like y'all were able to, like you said, help her and like nurture her, and like he could be getting the same support in times 10 and it still not be enough.
That's true.
So it's like you can only do so much. You have to be able to create that boundary.
For sure.
And so, and I agree, like not everyone is beyond help, but there are some people who are beyond help.
Yeah. That's like, fair enough. Like
there just is, like, as sad and as much as we don't want that to be true, I feel like the issue is doing it too quickly, like cutting someone off too quickly, like 2 chances, you're like, oh, nope, that's it. But, you know, and it also depends on what were those 2 instances, what happened. So it's just, I think it's very circumstantial, very situational.
That's true. It totally is. It's not a one size fits all.
Yeah.
And even bipolar, it's not a one size fit all. Yeah, because my mom's is different than his. And like, you know, I can say what I know about what I know, but I really don't know his situation.
Right, which is like mental health as a whole. Like you can say what you want, like I can say what I want about my anxiety, but that is not the same experience for your anxiety.
That's
and
real.
How it affects you. That's real. And like what gets you out of your depressive episodes may not get me out of my depressive episodes.
That's so true.
So at the end of the day, like as much of a struggle and as hard as it is, like this is again why we advocate for therapy so much on this show, and especially for Black men.
Therapy.
Especially for Black men. But yeah, I have grace for Kanye, but it only goes so far.
Fair enough.
That's what I'll say on that.
That's all I have to say too.
Which speaking of, okay, Yvonne Orji, from y'all might know, also known as Molly from Insecure. I just I had started her HBO comedy special, which I didn't even know she was a fucking comedian.
I did, but I have never watched a special.
I finished her special today because the first time I started watching it, I drank some wine and fell asleep. But then I finished it today because I was like, oh, this is perfect for what we're talking about. 20 out of 10. Like, she's my new favorite comedian. Like, I want to go to the next show. She's so good. Yeah, she's so good. I want to read her book. I want to put it on the list of potential books that y'all get to vote for next season.
I'm down.
Because Bamboozled by Jesus, I got to read it.
Me too.
How Bamboozled. It's like how Jesus bamboozled me into my like perfect life or something like that. And I like
she's so funny.
She is. And so her special talks a lot about therapy because she's Nigerian.
Oh, okay. Heard that.
Yes.
I actually listened to her podcast. I don't know if it's still on, but that's how I like learned she was a comedian and that she had a book and all that stuff, and that she was from Nigeria because she's with another woman from Nigeria, and they're just like, I think it's
Esther, her bestie,
I guess. Yeah, and
probably.
They just literally talk about whatever they want to that relates to like being
Nigerian
Americans.
Okay. I was like, I think this is where she's going with that. But yeah, it was just, and she talked about the hypnotherapy. It's not hypnosis, but it's like called, what I wrote it down, EMDR therapy, which I'm gonna start doing.
I was wondering what that was.
I talked about it like a while ago, but it's like hypnosis, but it's not hypnosis. It goes like deeper into like your inner self.
Oh.
It's more like,
it's not like they're controlling you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Is
exactly.
It in therapy?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and like
fire.
Therapists have to be like specially certified to do that type of therapy, which my therapist is. Shout out to Dr. Griffin.
She's so good.
She is. Like because I had looked into it and I was talking to her about it and she's like, I got it.
Wow.
Right
here. Is it a thing?
There's like, I don't know. It's like this bar looking thing. I don't know. I'll let you know once I do it. But y'all need to go watch that HBO special. It's so good. I just found it because I was looking for something to watch and I was wanting to laugh. And I was like, this looks cool.
Well, there you go.
And that's all she wrote. Which, Yvonne, I'd love to have you on the show. She liked my original tweet and she responded to me. So if we have Molly from Insecure on the...
Wait a minute. We are having Molly from Insecure.
Yvonne.
Mm-hmm. How do you say her last name?
Orgy.
No. But like orgy?
I'm pretty sure. I even like YouTubed how to pronounce her name because I was like, I don't want to fuck it up, but like I'm pretty sure that's how you say it.
Orjai. I'm just gonna start saying Orjai because orgy.
So weak.
No,
all right.
Kidding. I would never do that. I've been through enough with my name.
I'm so weak. Okay, now let's get
into get not me and lip thinking poor minds. Get into the bed.
Hey, the bed. Hey.
When you listen to too much poor minds.
I'm so weak. Okay, but let's get into the chapter. We were doing so well.
Can we practice this off camera? Because I'm not very good.
I was listening to Black Girl Flow, and I was like, I'm so jealous of the fact that Liv and Lex could do that in harmony in the beginning. Like, welcome to the Black Girl Flow. I was like,
effortless. Can y'all teach a class, please? We can't get it together.
We can't. But today's essay is self-care is not a candle and therapy is not a notebook. How we are doing the most and the absolute least at the same damn time.
This is, She said something. Right
she said this is at all of you. Because everyone does this.
Real freaking talk. She drops so many gems in this chapter.
So basically, y'all, we're talking about you go to Target, right? Because you need a little bit of self-care and to treat yourself. I mean, treat yourself, that's real. But you need a little bit of self-care. So you buy yourself a little notebook and a little candle. And you feel that, like,
energy,
that what's the serotonin, that boost of serotonin.
That part.
But then you're still not dealing with the real issue.
That's
of whatever it is.
That's the pill we don't want to swallow.
And that's been, that word I hate, normalized.
Yeah.
In this whole like self-care community, and it's been like, of course, capitalism took over.
Yeah, they love doing that.
They do love to take over. But okay, so like Samara said, there's so many gems, and the first one, well, of many, is on 272, where she says the point is self-discipline is hard and accountability is harder.
Yeah, I loved that.
Same. It made me think about, I said I started walking, right?
Yeah.
Well,
I feel you.
In my defense, I started my period and it was really intense.
Oh yeah, I remember.
I was dying.
It was, you couldn't have done that.
And so I was like, this week I was like, okay, but I'm gonna get back into it.
I love the energy.
But then I fucked up my sleep schedule. And then it was like a trickle effect. And then I was like, next week.
It's just like life does not stop lifing.
It doesn't, ever.
So you could have a good week and you're like, I'm on top of the world. I'm so healthy. I am taking care of myself.
We're thriving.
I feel better than I've ever felt. And then, I don't know, something hits the fan and then you're just like, well, I don't have time today. And then it turns into another day. And and then you just want some quick fix. So you go and get a candle or whatever. And
a Starbucks.
Yeah, or take a mental health day. You know?
Right. Which, like, yes.
Honestly, fair.
Right, fair. But we got to get deeper into there.
We can't just sit at the top because this is really where the capitalism is.
Yeah.
This is the fun stuff of like face mask and
she literally talks about that and like how she was talking about it with a friend and all of a sudden she started seeing all of this stuff on like her Instagram. Yeah, how they're watching us.
So true.
It is so true though.
Scary. But I like how she's like, I just could never be off the grid like that though.
Yeah, like just completely just
because as much as I'm like, ooh, it would be nice to unplug and like there's just kind of a point where I'm like, no, I don't think I would ever like have an actual, well, let me not speak too soon, but I don't know if I could really be completely like out of the way on a farm, spotty Wi-Fi, like, I don't think I could either. I like the luxuries of life and I appreciate that she points out that like, it's okay to indulge because that is part of, I think, caring for your, maybe not.
Some of it, sometimes.
But I do think it's about balance. So if you've been super heavy on like working hard and, grinding it out and being on top of everything and, you may need to like tip the scale by just like, like we do take mental health day and just lay down the entire day. That is not wrong. I don't think that it should be seen as like a bad thing or anything. So I'm glad she like points out like it's kind of a double-edged sword of knowing what you need when you need it. Again, time and place, and having that discipline to kick yourself in the butt when you really need to is it's so hard, I have to say.
It is very hard.
Objects that motion stay in motion.
Bitch. But I was gonna say, especially when you're someone who deals with mental health struggles and like have anxiety and depression, and like makes it 20 times harder to do those things, and you get on yourself about it 20 times harder.
But the weird part is that if you're on top of those things, it'll only make it better. So it's this awful weird cycle of like, I don't have the energy or the strength mentally to do this right now, but I know if I do it, then I'll feel better tomorrow. But then I would have to feel some type of way today, and it's just like we're always choosing the gratification,
racing towards gratification.
It's me. She was really calling me out.
Yeah, but because it's just, especially like us, we've gone through trauma. We're just like, I don't want to go through no more shit. Like, I just want to get to the good part.
That's such a good point of like not being, because at the same time, it's like we should also, so much of, I think, being down on yourself like can be countered with gratitude. And it's like hard to be in that headspace when you're feeling like shit, literally. But it really all works together. I want to be at a point one day where I can just exist like at a steady, you know what I mean? I don't want to have as many ups and downs. Like personally, I feel like that would be success to me.
Like that's what success looks like? Yeah. But I do like how, I keep using this. I'm going to title this fucking episode this word normalize. Because a lot of people, and celebrities included, have come out, these people that we look up to and be like, oh my gosh, like that's the goal, or like I want to get like them one day, or like people who we look up to, but they go through that same shit. It's almost comforting.
Yeah.
Because when you're in it, you're like, oh, this is just me. Like, I'm not going to like get to where I want to be because of it. Like, this is like my hindrance and my anchor. But really, it's like, nah, bitch, we all going through this, but here's how we get through it.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I feel like that's so much the reason of, like why I'm just trying to get comfortable in the shit show. Because I'm realizing like it's never going to be calm. If you have like a moment of calm, like it's either like curated so that you could have this moment of calm when it comes to adulthood, or it's just like naturally going to be all over the place, always, forever and ever.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm really trying to get a handle on this stuff. But it's crazy.
It is really crazy.
Especially when everyone is pushing this
narrative
like, on you of like, just, well, that self-care is going to fix things.
Right. Or even like on the bottom of 273, she quoted this article, and it says, our focus is shifting away from the actual self, our bodies, minds, and spirits, and toward data about the selves. Because she talks about like how we have like everything, like iPhones, or Apple Watches, and whatever
Health
the fuck.
apps.
Yeah, and I was like, I fall into this category. Like, I love being able to close all three of my rings.
About you. I was like, this bitch loves data. She's literally a data analyst. She was bound to fall into this trap.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh, I beat my exercise ring today. And she's a skinny girl.
No, but yeah.
It's very motivating.
I feel like it's good, but I do.
It's not the end all be
means.
all. Yeah.
You could like have the greatest stats and still be like feeling terrible at the end of the day.
Yeah. But here's the thing.
But on paper, you're doing great.
Bitch, you're doing a good job. Bitch, you're doing a good job. That's literally me when I close all three rings.
I mean, that's a good way to do. I don't have an Apple. I don't fall into this category, but it's so much, I feel like, easier to focus on the numbers than to get to like the deep-rooted issues that you're facing.
Yeah, and it's good that you pointed that out, because me saying all this normalized shit, she literally talks about it on 276, and she says, we're screaming at the top of our lungs about how we're reclaiming our lives and taking care of ourselves, but I'm starting to question whether any of us actually believe that.
Yeah.
Because she was talking about, you know, how hashtag self-care was trending so hard. And it's like, that's what everybody, like, that's a new trend. That's what everybody wants to talk about.
It's trendy.
Which it's like, it is important. And again, she talks about it a lot, the balancing act of the chapter. Essay. Essay. But at the same time, there's been so many companies have just used it so much to their advantage, where it like it's sucking out the good of it and focusing less on like the actual work that needs to be done.
So true.
And more of like, oh, here's like a little gratification that'll help get you through.
Yeah, for today. And then you're going to have to get another one and another one. And
capitalistic trap.
It's also such a good point that she made. I mean, she's making it throughout, but there was a part on the page before on 275 that I wanted to read. Okay, so writer Shayla Love ruminates on this conundrum of like this whole self-care, commercializing itself and like whatever. In her 2018 Vice.com article, The Dark Truths Behind Our Obsession with Self-Care. And it's a little bit of what you said about the hashtag and how many posts on Instagram were like, why do we have to take a picture of it?
Yeah.
I get it, because we're just those types of people at this point.
Aesthetic.
It's the aesthetic of it all. But, like, that's not the point.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
It's not about what other people are doing or how they view you. It's about you. It's like your self-care. Anyway.
Yeah.
But she says it's kind of a tease about the healthcare that we are lacking and are desperate for. You can't actually treat an anxiety disorder with a bubble up bath or a meditation app. And the supposition that you can is a dangerous one. If we lived in a world where we were being properly taken care of, would self-care have the same appeal? And I just was like, well, there you go, because it's like
systemic. I
can't afford therapy because I don't have health care, but I can afford a bubble bath or a subscription to this meditation app that's $5.99 a month. So like, okay, this is my therapy, this is my self-care, but it's like it's not really hitting the main thing. And what I have taken away from this chapter at this point, which I've always been like healthcare for all, but at this point I'm like, first we need mental health care for all.
But it's like, but I think the argument is like mental health care is healthcare. So then healthcare for all, like mental health falls into that. But you're saying more like at the forefront.
At the forefront. And even within, like you're saying, like the health.
Mental health care is healthcare.
That mental health care is healthcare. Like, it's really not. The fact that we have to say that is crazy to me. I didn't realize. I should have realized, but I didn't have the statistics.
The stats on 277? Yeah.
About
crazy.
The fact that only 55% of psychiatrists accepted health insurance compared with 89% of other specialist doctors.
Yeah. I didn't even know that was a thing.
That explains why it was so hard for me to find a therapist when I was in my time of need and I was like on the bottom of the barrel and I was just like, somebody please talk to me. And, you know, I was calling like my dad and like being so upset with his response to me when he was just like, you sound crazy. And I'm like, damn. Okay. And then, you know, I'll go to the free therapy clinic and they're like, well, they straight up told me I need to be admitted into like a psychiatrist institution.
I remember that. Yeah.
They're like, you have an eating disorder. I was like, no, I don't.
Actually, yeah.
And that's like, this is dangerous that you're telling. I was like, I have a full-time job. Like, I can't just take 6 months off and admit myself into this space.
But like some people do need to do that. Like some people are at that point where like
let's be honest, we're not in a place like there's no
there's no
nets in place. Like,
yeah, if you do have to do that.
I was just watching this show on Netflix. It just came out, or movie, and it's called Bad Nurse, I think.
Oh, I did see that. I didn't see it, but I saw it.
It's so good. It's really good.
Okay.
But she literally has a heart coronary disease of
embolism?
some sort. I don't think so.
My Grey's Anatomy knowledge coming in? I don't know.
The blind lead the blind. But she basically had blisters on her heart. And so she was having a lot of issues because she was about to have like a stroke. And she was like on the verge of having like the doctor was like, you can't work. And she was like, I have to work because I don't have health insurance. And I have to wait 4 more months because I just switched into this new job and they make you be there a year before they give you health insurance.
Which is fucking ridiculous, but keep going.
Insane. And that's like stuff you have to calculate into. It's like not even as simple as just like, oh, I got a new job. It's like so many underlying
moving
things
pieces
that you're like supposed to do along with anyway. But like she was at work literally being a nurse when she's the one that needed to be nursed. And she was just pushing and pushing and pushing until sorry guys, I didn't even say spoilers, but
spoiler alert.
But like she was like, I can't quit my job. Like I have a kid who's relying on me. And it's just, we're putting these like impossible situations.
Yeah, where you feel like
there.
Yeah, you like, it's not just that you feel like you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice.
Don't. Yeah.
You're not given
like,
proper access to a choice.
I need.
Right. Which I was like you, like the fact that they didn't even accept insurance. And then as someone who works in insurance, I know that like, it's just because like some people just don't feel like even dealing with the middleman, which is the insurance company, which to me is low-key kind of a selfish decision.
Yeah, that's lame.
Right. And I don't know. It all just trickles down once again. And you know, all of these politicians, like when the shooting in Uvalde happened at the elementary school, Greg Abbott got up there and was like, yeah, this is mental health and which, yes, but there's like so many other fucking issues.
A lot.
But like they're loving to just throw mental health on everything. And it's almost like
a cop-out.
And like desaturating the word and the meaning and like not using it when it actually needs to be used.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's fair to use it, but...
Yeah, it's fair to use it, but it can't be a cop-out, like you said.
I think as long as they're going to use it, they need to be, like...
doing something. Yes,
exactly.
that's where I was going with it.
You can say it's mental health all you want, but, like, if it's this bad, what are y'all doing? What is the government doing to make, obviously, therapy accessible for everyone? I think it would actually, in the long run, like... do a lot more than it would cost because think about like all the deaths and you know what I mean?
Right. But I love how she points out about the Black Panther movement and Audre Lorde, who
I didn't know this.
I didn't know this stuff either, but like who are community leaders who are advocating not only for, which is like my biggest takeaway from the chapter, not only worrying about mental health and healthcare for yourself, but for your community around you and actually advocating for not just you, but everybody else, even if that just means you and your significant other or you and your significant other and your kids and your mom and whoever. Because it like, we're always, or at least I'm always saying like, where does it start? That's where it starts. Like this essay gave me so many answers to stuff that I've been like, oh fuck, like yeah, like simple shit, but not so simple sometimes. It's just not as easy as it should be.
That's true.
But it has to start somewhere.
Yeah, that's real.
So, which is why I'm glad our generation is taking mental health so much more seriously and like believing people than in the past, and how it was more I mean, it is still stigmatized, but like it was way more stigmatized back then, and like people didn't even believe you or like want to give you help. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, different time, but
yeah. And I love how she talks about, and that reminded me of, you know, businesses doing the same thing. You know how all these businesses love to say like, we're coming into the community and we're gonna help and revitalize and yeah, but like there's only a select group that are actually doing it, like Slutty Vegan, how they opened in Woodlawn and are like pouring back into the Woodlawn community, or like wherever like they build,
I love that
restaurants.
Yeah,
right, like that's the type of shit I can get behind.
Yeah, it's like if you're in a position where you can help people, why aren't you? Right. That's how I feel about all the billionaires who, I feel like if you're a billionaire, honestly, you should create a foundation and just give free health insurance to people. I mean, like, why not?
Do actionable things.
Do actionable things, because people love, like, going to, like, their charity balls and, like...
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, it's almost like a flex. It's like, self-care shouldn't be a flex. Helping others shouldn't be a flex. And I agree, like, this whole, like, idea of the Black Panther Party pushing community and, like, looking out for each other. I feel like that's really the only way things get done, because as much as we should vote, you also can't leave your life in people's hands that you don't know.
Facts.
You
know? That's real.
So it's kind of a little bit of both, but I definitely think the emphasis should be more on the community.
Right. Because that's where you can have
see every day.
Right, and that's the one you can have a direct impact into.
Yeah.
So, yeah. There's another quote on 281 that I wanted to point out. She says, caring for myself is not self-indulgence. It is self-preservation, and that is an act of political warfare.
That was so beautiful.
I was like, that's deep. All right, Beebs.
I'm taking a mental health day tomorrow.
Not tomorrow.
Yeah, this is a resistance.
So, oh, God. Are you okay?
I'm joking.
Are you okay? Drink some water. Okay. You good?
I'm just keep drinking.
Okay. I'm just going to call out a few other quotes that I really like from this chapter. 282, rewarding oneself is not the same as taking care of oneself, which we talked about that. Oh my gosh, are you okay?
Yeah, I was just joking.
Okay. I'm going to let you get yourself together. This one. Any escape behavior can be used in excess, from shopping to eating to sex.
Y'all know I've felt that shopping one.
And also this one, doesn't growing and changing require some pain as well. Like, self-care is meant to be like this, like you said, a bubble bath, a face mask, like it's easy. But growth is not easy.
Yeah, and we shouldn't make it out to seem easy. Because you really do get disappointed when you're like, damn, this shit's hard, and then you give up.
And then you give up,
because you're like, I'm supposed to be... Like, she's over here with a blanket and damn candles, and I have to be up at 7 a.m. to work out.
Right.
But it all goes together.
It all goes together. It's all moving pieces. And she also says, to me, true growth doesn't exist without the breaking of the old and rebuilding it into something different and new.
That's how I feel about the system.
I mean, but right. Speaking of the system, on 287, she says, when people constantly encounter a system that doesn't believe them and won't use its resources to help them or spend the time necessary to find the most effective solution for bettering their mental health, and most important, when people are unable to afford mental health care, of course they are going to look for solutions they can easily apply to their lives. Hence, notebooks, candles, blankets, etc.
It's easier. It's affordable. You know what I mean? You don't have to go through some third-party health insurance company.
You can go to your local Target.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why they're making money off of us.
Yeah.
So before you buy that another notebook, when you haven't finished the first notebook you bought,
right,
and it's just got a pretty cover, like, think about who you're supporting, and then send that money somewhere else.
Like, be rooted.
Yeah. Wait, no. So, like, I don't know. I have no idea. But who out here is doing mental health work? That's who we need to be giving that.
The people
money
who are
to.
doing good mental health work.
Yeah, it's
also.
not just anybody.
Not just anybody. Because like we talked about in our interview with Javasia Bowser, which if you have not gone to check that out yet, go check it out. Great stuff on that one. But we talk about all these organizations who are like, oh, we're doing all these great things. But like, you look up their overhead costs and see the actual percentage of the money that's going to what you're putting it in for.
It's ridiculous.
It's fucking ridiculous. Okay.
For a nonprofit, they really be
profiting.
Exactly.
With that, this is the last one I got on 290. She says, these efforts tend to be labeled as virtue signaling. And while there is some of that, there are equally as many, if not more, people who genuinely want to contribute to the collective, but might not know how to get started.
That's real. Like, literally, I was just saying, I don't even know who to donate to.
Right. Like, what the real thing to donate to is.
There's so many good resources on Instagram and on social media, but even then, it's still hard because they don't have, like, a ton of profit to just spread the word. And oftentimes, they're using the money instead of spreading the word. They're using it to actually affect change and not spreading the word, which is great.
Right.
But then we don't know about them. So I'm going to take some time to look up like a list of mental health resources, you know what I mean, and share those. And if y'all have any, comment them down below. Send us an email, shewellread@gmail.com, DM us, all the things.
Yeah. But final thoughts to wrap up this essay. We greater than I think was a big takeaway. And also, let's get radical.
Ooh.
Let's get some shit popping.
Oh, yeah, y'all just send us a location where you're trying to pop off, and we'll show up. And as long as you're playing for the flights, we will show up and we will pop off with
and you. And show out. I'm so weak. All right, but next essay is 4C girl living in anything but a 4C world. The disrespect.
That is real.
That is very real.
It's giving Halle Bailey.
It is giving Halle Bailey. But this has also been real and another great episode.
New world where she has dreads. That's hot.
Okay, bitch. We gonna see y'all next time. I'm Alana.
I'm Samra.
Bye.